So I'm Evan Davis, I'm a BBC presenter. I've worked in news, well, goodness gracious, for over 25 years now. It's ridiculous. And it's a great pleasure to be in Leeds for the festival this year. My view about whether the media is broken is that it's not as simple as black or white, yes or no. It's broken, it isn't broken. There are some fantastically strong features of the UK media landscape. There is so much of it. You can get what you want as a consumer of news, whether you're on the right or whether you're on the left, whether you want it local or whether you want it national. You can normally find what you're looking for. But no one would say it's perfect, and we can all spot things that we don't like about the way the media talk about issues or the way they cover them, or the things that don't get as much attention as they should, or the things that get more attention than they should. But as I think about that question, is the UK media broken? I think I'm looking for nuance in the answers. It isn't as simple as yes, it's all rubbish, or yes, it's all fantastic. We're looking for nuance. We're looking to find what works, what doesn't work, what is good about our media, and what perhaps could be improved. I think it's really important when looking at this question of what is wrong with the media or what's broken in the media is to ask, is that really a problem of the media, or is that a problem of the audience? When people say, I don't like the media, are they really saying the media is doing too well at serving people who I don't particularly agree with or I don't like? And I think quite a lot of the time the criticism is actually not that the industry is dysfunctional. It's that the industry is too functional. What the industry is doing is serving consumers. It is selling products to consumers, adapting products to make them very sellable. And what some people don't like is that precise fact. They think these products are not healthy for people. And we have to, in our heads, I think, distinguish between, are we criticizing the way the industry operates, or are we criticizing the way the market, the buyers, select? In most industries, we tend to think the customer is king, and an industry that serves consumer tastes is a well-functioning industry. I know that some people don't feel that about the media. On the other hand, no one wants a media which simply produces high-quality, high-fiber products that nobody buys, nobody eats. There's no point in doing that. So one of the things we have to look for in a media is that it is not slavishly following the most debased tastes of the population, if you like, but at the same time it is very consumer focused, that it knows what the audience want and it gives them it. I always tend to say a good media has to have some fibre and has to have some sugar. If it's all sugar, well, what's the point of it? You know, you're not really giving people anything healthy. If it's all fibre, well, you know what? No one actually buys it, and so it doesn't work. So you have to kind of dose it correctly for it to work, so that people get something that is going to do them good, but also something that is going to make them want to consume the product. And to kind of leave the consumers out of it, I think, is probably impoverishing of your view of media. But to think that the job of a good media product is simply to slavishly follow the audience tastes is probably also an impoverished view of the way the news system works. My view is that most consumers know what they're getting when they consume different media products. I think consumers who buy the Daily Mail know the difference between the Daily Mail and the Guardian. And people who go to the BBC website or listen to Radio 4 know the difference between that and LBC, or know the difference between LBC and GB News. I just think consumers are quite bright, and I think they get nuance, and they select the products they want smartly. And I don't think you should underestimate consumers. Some may not want anything too challenging to their worldview. Some want something challenging to their worldview, but I slightly shy away from the idea slightly shy away from the idea that, oh, it's all a mess. How do I choose what I want to get? My advice to people is, if you're stuck selecting stuff, just read widely and read wisely, because you can take a variety of different views. You can sample a number of different things. You can normally read between the lines of the agenda of the particular thing you're looking at, and you can think, oh, I can see why they're putting it that way, and I can see why this paper is putting it this other way. And it's not like knowledge, or the way we cover stuff is, it's a huge encyclopedia, and then we just lift the encyclopedia off the shelf, and the media's job is to kind of give you the truth from that encyclopedia. Often there really are different ways of looking at the same thing, and often there are different perspectives. People will put a different weight on different facts. So even though the facts may be agreed, people may have a very different view of these things. So nothing is as simple as just simply relaying a bunch of facts and saying, now, dear newspaper reader, you know exactly what you're looking for. It's not like that. The news is a complicated process of discovery. It's not a book on a shelf that lends itself to we just have to relay it to you. We want people to shout, to give different perspectives. And we want an ecosystem that flourishes, rather than to think of media as there's a right answer, and what we want the media all to do is to give us that right answer. It really isn't like that. You want a cacophony of different viewpoints, different perspectives, different voices, adding their views, picking different stories, jostling and trying to beat each other as well. You want a complicated, messy, noisy media, out of which over time we gravitate to some truth, rather than thinking that the truth is there and all we need is the media to give it to us, and then the job is done. I tend to think of it as much more complicated than that. But look, that's just my particular view of how news works. I know people will take different views, and I'm not saying there aren't such things as facts, but for me it's a process of discovery rather than just the job of relaying the information. Most of the issues that we cover are complicated, and you can argue them in more than one way. And that is why it's difficult. And that is why people say, oh, but who do I believe? And, believe a little bit of everybody, and don't believe the entirety of anybody. Read around, get different perspectives, you'll be fine. Well, for me, festivals like this one, like Leeds, are incredibly important, because when you work in the media, whether you're in a print newspaper or whether you're broadcasting on the radio, you broadcast. You put it out there into an ether in a little room on your own with a microphone. And yeah, we get feedback. We get plenty of feedback through social media and the like, and emails. But the truth is, there's nothing better than actually looking the eyes of an audience in the face and hearing what they think and getting it that way and entering into a discourse. So for me, the reason why I come to something like this is precisely because it gives us the chance to meet the people we hope are listening to us and to hear what they're thinking about what we do. So it's absolutely vital, and all power to the Leeds International Festival.